So I want to talk about this, but just not in Cavan, but across the country. In Cavan at the moment we have gone mad. We have decided to extend a bicycle lane that nobody used. I've seen maybe one person in all the years a bicycle lane has been outside Cavan Institute by Colin Smith's Park into the town. I've seen maybe one person all the time there. They spent hundreds of millions of euro on digging up the road to put a bicycle lane, and now they've decided to extend it out by Cavan Institute onto by St Pat's out to Cullis filling station out there at the Cullis roundabout, and another few million euro. And of course, half of the road now is a bicycle lane and nobody on it. And it's an utter joke because they had all summer to do something with it. And then they decide as soon as the schools go back, St. Pat's College and the Institute and stuff out of the summer break, let's dig up the roads and cause chaos around the country. But like what some of these people who are planners in the local authority and stuff like that, I don't know. But it's not even the local authority. The local authority are contracting people. Years ago was the local councilmen who done it. Nowadays we're contracting that out because we want people from Northern Ireland to come up and work on the Republic Farm, which is insane because we should be employing local men to do it and giving them the job instead of outsourcing. But I complained about that to the town comes home. But long story short, everybody in Cavan's discussed it because the money that's been spent in that is utterly ridiculous, and so many people waiting on houses, and so many people take for example emergency accommodation in Cavan. It's never been as high as it is now. And there's no such thing as there's no money for them apparently, but there's money for bicycle lanes. But I know it's not I'm not blaming the councillors or anything, but I'm blaming the people in the government. Do you think these councillors too will be telling the government to stick it up the hole? Instead of giving money for bicycle lanes, maybe do it for something productive because nobody's using the bicycle lane. I wouldn't mind if it's a big flurry of people using it. I seen one person. If we went up now in the morning outside Cavan Institute and stood there for 6 or 7 hours, we find maybe one person. Maybe you could be lucky, you might get two on a good day. Because this whole agenda, this Carl's agenda, and this whole agenda, it's all right, well and good. But if you live in rural Ireland, Cavan, it's a big enough town. But when you go outside Cavan, the roads, you fall into a pothole and you never be found again. And they want people to cycle bicycles up back country lanes in Cavan. You fucking end up in the ditch. The roads that haven't been touched probably since the 1900s. And you're lucky there's any road left because, to be totally honest, they dig up all the roads, and this is the thing just about road works, etc. They decided to dig up all the roads the last minute now in October, because obviously what we all know with the government departments, the money's going to be used. The money has to be used up by the end of the year before it goes back to the revenue. So they're desperately just digging up everything they can dig up to waste the money because they haven't used it all year, which is utterly ridiculous. If you ask me, because there's roads that literally hasn't been done since the 1900s in Cavan, and they haven't done anything with it. But funny enough, the roads in the 1900s are nearly better than what they are today, because it seems like they just fall to bits after 5 weeks of being done. But yeah, it's utterly ridiculous. Not just in Cavan, but across the country, seeing bicycle lanes everywhere, nobody on the bicycle lanes. Like, I wouldn't mind if there was somebody on the bicycle lane, but very rarely you see someone in the bicycle lane. Like, now at this stage, the roads are pretty much bicycles. Like, we'd have no roads, which are bicycles and footpaths. Take for example, just as measurement at St. Pat's College, the footpath has been extended, which is welcome too. But there's other places in Cavan the footpaths could be extended, but they've never done it. And there's footpaths in Cavan I've seen that are crumbling, and there's no money to do it, apparently. I'll show you one or two someday, because there's some of them in very awful state. And it's a miracle how nobody's fucking broke their neck on them. It's generally a miracle. But there's no money for that, but there's money to build another bicycle shed and stuff. Because that's the whole agenda. I wouldn't be surprised now to be a bicycle shed out the road there at another 500,000, 600,000, because why not? But it's utterly ridiculous, in my opinion, that this is what's happening in Cavan. The money can be better spent than on bicycle lanes, etc. But this is could be the suggestion for the councillors, etc., because none of them seem to understand. If we get some kind of small bus or something, we get some kind of bus system going, it would stop a lot of people using cars, etc. Or if we get some kind of, as Independent Ireland suggests, which was fairness, it was a good enough idea, but it'd take a lot of money to implement it. But the money we were spending on bicycle lanes and all this kind of carry on, if we went and put a few trams, even just it's nothing big elaborate operation in Cavan, just a small tram system, maybe a few trams. It would cost a good bit of money, don't get me wrong, but the money that we're spending on bicycle sheds and fucking everything else, you can get trains across the whole length and breadth of the country if we use the money sensibly instead of being idiots. We could do great stuff with it, you know what I'm trying to say. But that would be a good suggestion, having trams, and you wouldn't need the bicycle lanes. But no, we're going to have a bicycle lane. But no, it's utterly ridiculous, and I do think we have to look at it. And the people of Cavan are outraged that they're digging up every road. They're causing huge disruption. by digging up all the roads. They have all summer to do it. They could do it at night if they wanted to. But they decide, yeah, let's go and do it. The schools and colleges go back. We do it specifically then. We're not going to do it any other time of the year, but we're going to specifically do it when they come back, just to annoy people. Because that seems to be the agenda. As I say, there's agenda 30, which means pretty much 30-minute cities. That's the whole Willie agenda about this too, a lot of it. The government's agenda. They want people to travel 20 minutes from the house, pretty much. Which is not going to happen, unfortunately, for them. But it's utterly ridiculous. It is utterly ridiculous when you see the state of some of the places in the country where there's bicycle lanes taking up half of the road. And you wonder why people are not happy with the government, because there's money that's been spent on bicycle lanes and then bicycle sheds, and it's just some kind of bicycle craze that this government's in. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.